Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Before we get started, I want to apologize if you hear a baby screaming in the background. She's having a rough day today, so my sister's baby will be screaming in the background, and I apologize for that. But nevertheless, we must continue the show. So, for those of you who are familiar, HBO is basically housing all of Warner Brothers releases this entire year. So basically, any movie that Warner Brothers distributes will be streaming on HBO Max for a month, starting the day that it's out in theaters. So today they dropped what I believe is the first one, or at least the first big one. And so today I'm really excited because I got to watch The Little Things. The Little Things came out in 2021, literally today when I am releasing this video. It is written and directed by John Lee Hancock. I've been looking forward to this one, not particularly because I was interested in it, but because it was the first new movie out in 2021 that I was able to watch. I wanted to watch Don't Tell a Soul a couple weeks ago, but I couldn't find it on streaming, and I didn't really want to pay for it. But I did get HBO Max because of all the new things coming out, and because I'm watching DC stuff, so I figured I would watch The Little Things as well when it came out, and it just came out this morning. So I woke up this morning and I watched WandaVision episode 4, went to class, and then immediately started watching The Little Things. So let's go ahead and discuss it for a little bit. There will be some spoilers, so pay attention to those. If you don't want spoilers, this might not be the review for you. Come back after you've watched it. If you don't care about spoilers, then proceed. So this movie was shockingly interesting to me because I like crime dramas, but I also don't. It's complicated because I like crime dramas, but a lot of crime dramas feel the same, and this also kind of felt similar to most crime dramas that I've watched, but I think it wrapped things together better than most other ones, such as, for those of you who know me, you know that I love the movie In Bruges. I can watch it over and over again because each and every time that I watch it, I get something new out of it because there's so many connections. This is one of these movies that I believe has so many connections that I'm sure I missed some of them. There's some things in the beginning that really wrap up in the end, and it really is interesting to watch that all the way through. So this is basically about a cop who has a mysterious past, who links up with another cop to try to solve a string of murders. And it's about a suspect who may or may not have committed the murder, basically leading the cops on. It's kind of complicated. I'm sorry, I'm thirsty, but I don't have a water with me, so I'm upset. But the show must go on. So this movie's interesting in my opinion because we start off linearly, right? So we start off at a point, we move forward, and then we have flashbacks, which is good. I appreciate that. I think that there's no other way they could have filmed this one. There's no other way they could have done that because you have to have some backstory, but we don't want it at the beginning because it doesn't make sense for it, right? So we find out at the last second, spoiler, literally the last 5 minutes, we find out that the main cop, Denzel Washington's character, accidentally killed a civilian while doing some police work. So he's investigating some murders, and he accidentally shoots a young female. And then at the autopsy table, they're like, all right, well, the cause of death was stab wounds, not the bullet, even though the bullet was the final stab, basically. And he's had to live with that forever, without ever really knowing if that was the true person that killed them, or if that was one of the other murderees, I guess you could say. So it's complicated. And this case is following that because it's similar to the same one, and they're trying to figure out who does it. So essentially, Jared Leto's character leads Raymie Malick's character into the desert, and he's like, this is where I bury the bodies. And so he starts digging, and then Jared Leto's getting really annoying, and then he smacks him, and, Raymie Malick's character kills Jared Leto's character. And Denzel Washington's character is like, yo, listen, it's gonna be fine. So he buries the body, and he destroys all the stuff, and all that stuff. But the coolest part of the movie, in my opinion, was the ending, where so Raymie Malick's character, I should just give him Jim. Jim knows that the person that died was wearing a red beret at the time. So Joe, who is Denzel Washington, Joe sends Jim a red beret in the mail, basically saying, hey, he was the killer. Even though at the end of the movie we find out that it was not the same red beret So we actually have no idea if he was actually the killer or not. We'll never know. We'll never know. I think he probably was, but we'll get into that when we talk about the acting right now. So first, Denzel Washington as Joe Deacon. I haven't seen a lot of Denzel Washington movies. I've seen a few, but like nothing like a lot. This one felt good because he's getting old. I mean, you can really see he's getting old, and it was able to be, a suspense thriller without having to have a lot of action, which is good for him, I'm sure. And I really enjoyed watching his character, particularly when we get to learn more and more about him and the fact that, he literally killed an innocent person and has to live with that. And then, he also has the expertise on how to get away with murder at this point. So he's able to help. He's able to help Jim a lot. So I really enjoyed Joe Deacon in this movie. I don't think he's my favorite character. I think the other two probably were better, but I did enjoy watching Denzel Washington in this one. Raymie Malick as Jim Baxter. You'd probably know him from Bohemian Rhapsody. Good actor all around, totally. And in this one, no different. I really enjoyed him in this one. He's a father, and he's a police officer. He's trying to investigate these murders, but, he's... Jared Leto's character, Albert, is just getting on his head and his mind, and then he kills him, and then he's got to live with that, and then in the end, he has a sort of resolve, where it's like, I actually got the guy, even though we have no idea if he actually did. I feel like that character must have been really difficult to play, so props to him. Really, really good acting. I think the acting is probably the best part of this film, unfortunately. I think the plot was okay. I think it wasn't extremely original. But I think that the way that it was directed and wrapped everything around, particularly with these characters, was really interesting. Jared Leto as Albert Sparma. So Albert is basically a guy who jumps around, he moves a lot, and he's into crime. So he watches a lot of crime TV, he follows all the articles, and he's really creepy. And he has everything that links him to the murder. Like there's beer in the fridge, the same beer that was in the fridge in the murder. The same roast beef place, and the same... appliance building. It's there's so many connections. So we really think that it's him, but in the end we never actually truly find out. We will never probably find out unless John Lee Hancock releases a statement saying, oh yeah, he probably did or didn't. We don't know. I'm sure he's not going to release anything and keep it ambiguous. I do enjoy ambiguous endings. I don't enjoy all of them, but this one was fine. But Jared Leto was probably the star of this movie in my opinion. I think his acting was phenomenal, which is really good because it was really bad, really, really bad in Suicide Squad, which actually hasn't even released on the channel yet. On Monday the 8th, my review for Suicide Squad comes out, and I discussed Jared Leto and how bad he was in that film. But in this film, he's really good. So it's really inconsistent, and I don't like that. I know he's an Academy Award winner, I think he is. But I look forward to watching more Jared Leto in the future because I'm hoping he's able to redeem himself more from Suicide Squad. This definitely helped. I did enjoy him. I am looking forward to him in Morbius, which comes out, I think, in October. I'm really excited for that. I'm excited for that because it's a spin-off Spider-Man movie, kind of. But I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I think the acting, particularly those three, were really, really good. The rest of the acting was really good, but there wasn't a lot of screen time. I do wish Jared Leto got a little bit more screen time than he got in this film. Mainly because I wish we had more background in him, although I guess the point is to not have background in him, because then it would kind of spoil the fact if he killed him or if he didn't kill him, so, which I both understand and hate, so there's that. But overall, a really solid movie. I really enjoyed it. I had fun watching it. I probably won't watch it again in the future, mainly because I don't know if I necessarily need to, although I'm sure there's some stuff I missed. If there's anything that I missed, please drop in the comments down below. Drop in the comments down below if there's anything else you want me to review, and I'll add it to the list over here. But for today, I'm going to have to give this movie an A-. This movie is on HBO Max, so if you have that subscription, go ahead and check that out. It is also playing in movie theaters, so if you have a movie theater near you, you can go check that out there. This movie seems like it would be fun in the movie theater, but honestly, maybe it's just better at home with subtitles. Whatever you prefer. But I genuinely enjoyed it, and I'm excited to watch more HBO Max movies that are released. I think the next one that is released is Tom and Jerry, and then I believe it's Godzilla vs. Kong. But they keep switching release dates on me, so I have, for some reason, Godzilla vs. Kong comes out late May, but actually I might have just gotten it wrong and just thought May was March, but now it comes out a week later, and it comes out on the 31st of March. Is it the 31st? It comes out the late March, which for me is actually earlier than I had previously thought. So it's not going to interrupt our DCEU schedule. We will finish that on time. However, it will inflict on our Leonardo DiCaprio and our Steve Carell reviews. So they will actually finish a week later than previously we thought. But that is okay. We are going to do this. It's going to be great. I'm really excited. But until then, as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.